Picture this, it's a warm summer evening, the sun casting its golden glow upon your childhood living room. You're nestled on the worn-out couch, a bowl of popcorn in one hand, and anticipation buzzing in the air like electricity. And then, it happens, the flicker of your television screen ignites with vibrant colors, and a familiar, catchy theme song fills the room. In that very moment, you experience your first encounter with The Amazing Spider-Man, the iconic 1977 TV series that spun its web into the hearts of countless fans. For many, this was a rite of passage, an introduction to a world where ordinary meets extraordinary. Those episodes filled with daring stunts, web-slinging heroics, and the charming portrayal of Peter Parker by Nicholas Hammond created a tapestry of memories that linger even today. Can you recall the excitement coursing through your veins as you watched Spider-Man gracefully swinging through the city, rescuing citizens in distress? Or perhaps you remember the heart-pounding battles with classic villains like the Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, each showdown leaving an indelible mark on your young imagination. But here's the kicker, The Amazing Spider-Man has more hidden treasures than you might think. Dive into this web of fascinating random facts about the show, and prepare to unravel the secrets and trivia that have remained hidden for decades. So, grab your web shooters and join me as we swing into the world of The Amazing Spider-Man, a journey that promises to unearth some extraordinary insights about this beloved TV series. Get ready to relive those moments and discover new ones as we delve into the web-slinging adventures that captured our hearts. The Amazing Spider-Man trivia, Nicholas Hammond's unfilmed cameo. Nicholas Hammond, known for his portrayal of Spider-Man in the 1977 TV series The Amazing Spider-Man, was set to make a surprise cameo appearance as a cab driver in the 2021 film Spider-Man: No Way Home. However, due to location filming overruns, the scene featuring his cameo was cut from the script just days before it was scheduled to be shot. This planned cameo would have been a nod to Hammond's iconic role as Peter Parker, Spider-Man in the 70 Seconds TV series. While it didn't come to fruition, it would have been a delightful moment for fans of both the classic TV series and the modern Spider-Man film franchise. Nicholas Hammond's contribution to the Spider-Man legacy as one of the earliest live-action Spider-Men is still remembered by fans, and his potential appearance in No Way Home would have bridged the gap between the old and new generations of Spider-Man on the big screen. While this cameo didn't materialize, it remains an interesting tidbit for fans of the Amazing Spider-Man TV series and the Spider-Man film universe. In 1977, The Amazing Spider-Man swung onto television screens, bringing the iconic web-slinger to a new medium. While the show is remembered for its unique take on the character, one notable fact stands out. The pilot episode received a cinema release in Australia, and later hit the big screens in Bahrain during the early 80 seconds. Unlike other Spider-Man adaptations, this series had an interesting twist. It's the only Spider-Man TV show where Peter Parker's boss, Jonah Jameson, doesn't label Spider-Man as a menace. This departure from the usual dynamic added a fresh angle to the character relationships. CBS had a keen eye for casting when they sought out Nicholas Hammond for the role of Peter Parker. After watching Hammond's performance in an English play at the Mark Taper Forum in Los Angeles, they offered him the part. Hammond accepted the role with the intention of providing a realistic portrayal of Spider-Man, steering clear of the comedic tone seen in the 1960s Batman TV show. The Amazing Spider-Man of 1977 left a lasting mark with its unique choices in storytelling and character dynamics. From cinema releases in Australia and Bahrain to the distinctive portrayal of Jonah Jameson and the commitment to realism by Nicholas Hammond, it remains a noteworthy chapter in the Spider-Man legacy. In the 1977 TV series The Amazing Spider-Man, one notable aspect was the portrayal of Spider-Man's spider sense. Unlike the comics, where it's a tingling feeling warning of danger, the show depicted it as full clairvoyance. This meant that in the series, Spider-Man had a psychic ability to foresee threats. This departure from the source material was a unique take on the character's abilities. Additionally, the series had an interesting history. It premiered as a feature film on CBS in the United States, marking the first time a Spider-Man production had a theatrical release. However, what's particularly intriguing is that the theatrical screenings were exclusive to Europe. This distribution strategy set it apart from other Spider-Man adaptations, and showed how the character was gaining international popularity. It's worth noting that despite the show's unique approach and its place in Spider-Man's history, it wasn't without criticism. Stan Lee, the co-creator of Spider-Man, expressed dissatisfaction with the series. In interviews, he called it too juvenile and criticized the treatment of the Spider-Man character, describing it as a cardboard character. In summary, the 1977 TV series The Amazing Spider-Man offered a different interpretation of Spider-Man's powers, portrayed his spider sense as clairvoyance, had a unique theatrical release in Europe, and faced criticism from its co-creator Stan Lee. These elements make it a distinctive part of Spider-Man's on-screen legacy. In the 1977 TV series The Amazing Spider-Man, there's an interesting difference from the comics. Spider-Man's web shooters and belt are on the outside of his costume, unlike in the comics where they are concealed within his costume. This departure from the comic book design was notable at the time. Interestingly, this concept was later adapted to the comics when a character named Ben Reilly, also known as the Scarlet Spider, used improved web shooters and kept his belt on the outside of his costume. However, Reilly did conceal the belt when he briefly took up the mantle of the new Spider-Man. This change in the costume design added a distinctive element to the TV series and had a lasting impact on how Spider-Man was portrayed in other media. It's a reminder of how adaptations can influence the source material, with ideas from one medium finding their way into another. This unique aspect of the 1977 TV series The Amazing Spider-Man brought a fresh take on the iconic superhero's costume, making it stand out in the world of Spider-Man adaptations. And that's a glimpse into one of the interesting aspects of this classic TV series from the late 70s, where Spider-Man's costume design diverged from the comics and had a ripple effect on the character's portrayal in other media. This series takes place in the Earth 730,911 version of the Marvel Universe, adding another layer of fascination for fans of the Spider-Man mythos. Nicholas Hammond's unmade Spider-Man and Hulk crossover TV movie in 2002, Nicholas Hammond, known for his portrayal of Peter Parker, Spider-Man in the 1977 TV series The Amazing Spider-Man, revealed plans for a TV movie that could have brought together Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk. The proposed telefilm was set to be distributed by Universal Pictures and Columbia Pictures, aiming for a spring 1984 air date. Hammond, not only the star but also a co-writer alongside Ron Satloff and Stan Lee, had ambitious plans. The project intended to reunite the TV series stars, with Bill Bixby returning as Dr. David Bruce Banner and also taking on the director's role. Lou Ferrigno was set to reprise his iconic role as the Incredible Hulk. Moreover, the production team aimed to craft Spider-Man's black costume, a nod to the comics. However, despite assembling crew members from both Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk TV series, and investing in creating the new black suit, Universal abruptly canceled the project. The primary reason cited was budgetary constraints, derailing the much-anticipated crossover. This unfulfilled crossover remains a tantalizing what-if moment in the history of superhero television, where two iconic Marvel characters could have joined forces on the small screen. While it never materialized, Nicholas Hammond's vision for a Spider-Man and Hulk team-up continues to be a topic of fascination among fans of these classic TV series. In the 1977 TV series The Amazing Spider-Man, some notable departures from the original comic book characters were made. One significant change was in the portrayal of Jonah Jameson. Unlike the comics, where Jameson vehemently despised Spider-Man and ran smear campaigns against him, the TV series toned down his abrasive personality. In the show, Jameson came across as more avuncular, and surprisingly, he actually liked Spider-Man. This was a departure from the comics, where Jameson's hatred for the web slinger was a central theme. Another interesting point is that aside from Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Jonah Jameson was the only character from the comics to appear regularly in the show. Aunt May and Joe Robbie Robertson made appearances in the pilot episode, and Aunt May appeared in one regular episode, albeit played by a different actress. Additionally, it's worth noting that Rita, a character from the series, seems to be based on Glory Grant from the Spider-Man comics, and Captain Barbera appears to have been inspired by Captain Stacy. Lastly, the production of the show faced time constraints. An entire episode had to be shot within just 7 days. To save time, Nicholas Hammond, who played Peter Parker, shot the Peter Parker scenes with the first unit, while the second unit, led by Freddie Waugh, handled the Spider-Man stunt scenes. This was due to the fact that a significant 85% of the scenes featured Peter Parker, while only 15% featured Spider-Man. In summary, the 1977 TV series The Amazing Spider-Man made some notable changes to characters like J. Jonah Jameson, portrayed a more avuncular version compared to the comics, and featured only a limited number of comic book characters in its regular cast. Additionally, the tight shooting schedule required innovative approaches to filming. These insights provide a unique perspective on this classic adaptation of the iconic superhero. As we bid adieu to the web-slinging adventures of the Amazing Spider-Man from 1977, we invite you to take a moment to journey back in time, where the magic of this iconic TV series first captured your imagination. The swinging cityscape of New York, the iconic red and blue costume, and the timeless battle cry of Thwip, all etched into the tapestry of our nostalgic hearts. Perhaps you remember those electrifying moments when Peter Parker transformed into the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, ready to thwart villains and safeguard the innocent. Or maybe it's the unforgettable camaraderie between Peter and Aunt May, resonating with the enduring themes of responsibility and sacrifice. What about the exhilarating sensation of swinging alongside Spidey through the concrete canyons of the Big Apple? Did the show inspire you to dream big, to believe that even an ordinary individual can wield extraordinary power? We'd love to hear your cherished memories and reflections on this beloved series. Did it spark your love for superheroes, or did it reignite a passion for comic book adventures? Share your thoughts, your favorite episodes, or even the life lessons you gleaned from Peter Parker's journey. Thank you for joining us in celebrating The Amazing Spider-Man from 1977. Your nostalgia and passion keep the spirit of Spidey alive. Until next time, keep swinging through the pages of your own life's adventures, just as the webhead himself would.